So in yesterday class we have seen about the checkpoints. Okay, now let me go for so let me before going to let me go and explain about the so in yesterday class I told that we'll explain the checkpoints and the logging first. Okay, now let me go for explain about the logging. Okay, and after storing the data, okay, after capturing the error information, how we can attach to that inside the event handler, we are using the send mail task. No? So how we can attach that error information by sending the mails. Okay. Now, what is the logging is that is logging the error information. Means capturing the error information into a physical file. Okay. Now let us see. So let me go for new package. So let me go and create a new package to explain the loggings. Okay. So let me get the same issue here. So let me copy this task. So in the logging also I want to represent the same issue. Okay. Now let me go for let us say I want to let me build a new connection. So let us see whether DB7, yes, the connection is already existing. Let me reuse that. Okay. Now let me create one more table. Let us say check one. Okay. Now let me go for second one. So let me use the same connection and let me go for table check one values. So here what I'm doing is so I'm intentionally failing this task by inserting a duplicate record into the primary key column. Okay. So let me go for and use the connection db7 and let me go for table name as check. So this package, okay, so while inserting the data, so let me go for first of all let me insert the data into this table. Now instead of 3, let me insert the duplicate key value so that my package will fail. Okay. Okay. Right. Now let me go for database properties and let me make it as false. I don't want to do this. Okay. So, so when I execute this package, what will happen? So the fourth task will get failed, saying that primary key violation. Okay, saying that so because of primary key violation, okay, cannot insert a duplicate key value. So with that information, this package will get failed. Okay, now what I want to do is let me check that whether that error is coming or not. Okay. see that this is made. Okay, I think the table is already present. So let me go for new query. So let me connect to the DB7 database. Drop out the table check word. Okay. Now we can go and see we'll get the primary key violation error. Okay. Now if I go and execute this, okay. Now you can go and see that in the progress window, you can see the error information like violation of primary key constraint. Okay, cannot insert the duplicate value into this table. Okay, so I want to capture this error information. Okay, I want to capture that error information. So let me re-execute it. So in order to capture that error information, we have the one of the option called logging option. Now you can see we have the logging here. Okay, so this error information is present inside the log. Okay, and I want to store this information. Okay, if I want to store this information, I have to go on. You can see that we have an option called when I click on right click on this package. You can see first option is logging is there. Okay, click on it. Means this logs information, whatever the error informations are present under the logs. Okay, and I want to store that logs. Okay, so let us first of all for this package, let us go to the details. Now you can see by default these are all hidden. These are all disabled. Now when this get will be enabled is, so go and check this package properties. Okay, my package name is login. Okay, so my package name itself is login. Okay, click on check on this. Now you can see this error event handlers. The events are enabled now. Okay, so these are all the events present in the event handler. All those events are showing here also. Okay, so when you want to capture that logs, okay, when you want to capture that log, so when an error happens, okay, so when the task failed, so you can go and select the respective events, okay, for which you have to store the logs. Okay, so if you want to go for pre-validation or pre-execution, whichever you want, you can go and check those events. Okay, now after that, come to this first tab, providers and logs. Okay, so now you can see that we have different provider type. So SSIS log provider for text files is, do you want to store these logs inside a text file? Then we have to select this option. Click on add. Okay. Now you can see SSIS provider for text files. Now we can capture the log information, that is error information, inside a CSV file or any text file. Okay. Now where you want to store that? Go to this new connection. So I want to create a new file, and where you want to create. So let us go to our folder SSIS underscore Tarala folder, and inside that let me store this. So now you can see we are under the F drive SSIS Tarala. Now let me go and create log. Let us say CSV underscore log underscore MS dot txt. So in this file, the error information will be stored. Okay, CSV underscore log underscore errors dot text. Okay, so whenever any error occurs, so this error information will be stored in this file. Okay, and suppose if I want to store the information in a SQL Server table, okay, log provided for SQL Server, click on add, select that option, click on add. So if you want to store the data, okay, if we want to store the data inside a SQL table, go and select this option. Okay, okay. So where you want to store that is in which server, in which database. Okay, so in which database table you want to store. So first of all, I have to create a connection. Now let us see, you want to store inside the same database, you can go and select that. Okay, so under this server, under this database, we have one system table called SSIS log table will be there. Okay, we have a system table to store this log information. Okay, so these error details, error information will be stored in that system table. Okay. So if you go and see, so select the top. I think once the array is created, okay, so then only will be this table will be shown. Let us see. This SSIS log. Yeah. So let us see. Once the error is created, okay, this will store. This table will be shown or not. Okay. So let us go for it. So I think this is the table name. Just a minute. I think that is the table name. Sys underscore SSIS log. Okay. SSIS log. So I think I have stored somewhere. Yeah. So let me do that one. Okay. So let us see after creating this. Let us see whether this table will get created or not. Okay. Sys underscore SSIS log. Okay. Now, if I want to store the information in an XML file, okay, or let us see in a SQL Server profiler, okay, means in the SQL Server profiler, what type of files we can see is we can open a trace files, okay, so which will have the extension like .tarc, okay. So if you want to store this error information inside a trace file, then we have to go for this option. I click on add. So now you can go and check it. Now you can see it generates SQL traces that may be captured in the SQL Server profile. Okay, so where you want to store this, you can go and create a new connection. So let us see under the same SSIS Tarla folder. I want to create a file with the name. Let us say that so trace logs log errors dot trc. Okay, so the trace file will have the extension like .trc. Let me open it. Click on OK. Now let me go for one more. That is, if you want to store the information in the Windows event log, okay, we have to go and select this. Okay, uh, SSIS log provider for Windows event log. Write log entries for events to the event log. Okay. Now let me go for last option, that is XML files. If you want to store the error information inside an XML file, we can go and select this. Okay. So let me go and locate the XML file where you want to create. Okay. Now let me create a file, browse. Okay. So let us see XML. Okay. Underscore log underscore. Okay. Dot XML. Okay. We are creating a dot XML file here. Okay. So this is that's it. Let me click on OK. So this error information, whatever the error information we are getting, we can store in these different formats. Okay, text file, XML file, trace file, inside SQL table, or in the event manager also we can go and see. Under the event logs also. Okay. Now let me click on OK. Now let us go on execute this. Okay. Let me go and execute the package. So now you can see our package got failed and the error information is violation of primary key constraint. Now let us go to that folder. Okay, so let us go to our F drive. So we have under the SSIS CV. Okay, SSIS Kerala. Now let us go and see that. So first one is CSV log errors. Okay, so let us go and see. This is the text file we have created. So let us see that the error information is stored in this text file or not. Now you can go and see. So whatever the error information we have captured there. So you can go and see somewhere we will have the primary key constraint. Now you can see violation of primary key constraint. Okay, the same error information is captured here. Violation of primary key constraint. Cannot insert duplicate key in object table check one. The duplicate key value is okay. So we can go and see the one Ravi 40,000 also. Okay, so we are able to store the information inside a text file. Now we have one more XML file. No? Okay, so we have XML log errors. Let me open this. So the same error information will be captured in the XML format also. Now you can see we have the odd error event, violation of primary key constraint, cannot insert duplicate key to the table check one. Okay, so we are able to save the information in a text file also. Save the error information in a text file as well as in the XML file also. Okay, and we have one more called trace file. Now you can see we have one more trace file .trc is created, and how you can open this trace file is by using the SQL Server profiler. Now let me open the profiler. So you can see we have our SQL Server profiler is there. Let me open it. So from that SQL Server profiler, we can open this trace file. So let me connect to the new trace or open a trace. Okay, so open a trace file. So which trace file I want to open? So under the SSIS underscore Kerala folder, we have stored the error information. No? I want to open the trace file. So now you can see trace underscore log underscore errors.trc. Now we can go and see that whether that error information is captured or not. Now you can see we have the list of errors. Okay. Now you can see one of the error is violation of primary key constraint, cannot insert duplicate key in table check. Okay. So we have the text data here. You can see we have the text data in the last column. So which will show the error information. Okay. So we are able to store the data in a trace file also, XML file also, text file also. Now let us go and see whether we are able to see the data in a table. Now you can see earlier this table was not shown. Now you can see once the error is generated, that information is this table itself is created. Okay, and it is showing some data here. So okay, now you can go and see we have the error information, and we can go and see that message is violation of primary key constraint. Okay, violation of primary key constraint is the full message will be shown here. Cannot insert duplicate key table checker. Okay, so in these different ways we can go and store our error information. Okay, like this. Now, so we have one more thing called event viewer. No, so in the event log also we are showing. No, so in order to see that we have one event viewer application will be there in order to see the event logs. Okay. So using logging we are able to store the information in the event log also. Okay, so let us see how we can see that error information inside the event logs. Okay. Now, once you save that information, what you can do is, so let it open. Okay, let the event viewer will open. Before that, what I want to do is, suppose if you want to store that, okay, while sending the email, if you want to attach this error information, so usually the event handlers, we are using the send mail task now. Double click on it. So when you are using the send mail task, inside this send mail task, okay, if you go and see inside this send mail task, we have an option to attach the error information. So once the error is found, so a text file will be created in the so and so folder, and you can go and attach that folder. Let's see here. So we have the attachments where you can go and attach that error log file also. Okay, so that when you are sending a mail to the customer, okay, whenever you are sending a mail to the customer, if this file is existed, it will go and attach that file information in the email ID itself. Okay, so this is how we can capture the error information by using the logging, and this is how we can attach that error information while sending the mail to the customers. Okay, like this. Now let us see. So this is the event log. Now you can see we have our event viewer application where we can go and see the list of logs. So let us see that application and services logs. Let us go for window logs application. Now whatever errors you have seen, all those will be shown here. Now you can see we have the list of errors, and if I go and select the first one, now you can see that Balaji PC Krishna insert data 3 task failed. Now you can go and see the information details. Under the details, you will have the same error information, that is violation of primary key constraint. So let me go for second error. Now you can see it set it to table check when failed. Okay. Now let me go for, so you can see we have captured that error information in the event views in the event logs also, and we can see violation of primary key constraint cannot insert duplicate value to the table check. Okay. So these are all the places where we can capture our error information inside the event viewer also, event logs also. Okay. Okay. So that is about the logging. Okay. This to capture the log errors. Okay. We will go for the logging option that we can do for every package. Okay. Now let me go for uh, so I have not completed the containers now. So let me go for containers. Okay. So we have seen two examples about the containers. Okay. So one is we have seen up to now we have seen the files and the object. Is we have seen the file enumerator and we have seen the uh, ADO object enumerator. Okay. In our examples we have seen like that. Okay. Now let me go for explain about the remaining enumerators because this is also important interview question. I don't want to skip that. Okay. So let me go for each loop container. So one of the interview question may be, so how many enumerators, okay, for each loop container? So one of the containers is the for each loop container. We have multiple containers, for loop container and for each loop container. Okay, for loop is, so if there is any maximum limit, if there is any maximum limit to loop, like for I equal to 0 or I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. Means if you want to repeat a logic 10 times, okay, there is some maximum limit. Okay, then what you will do? You will go and write for I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. Means 10 times the same logic will be executed. Okay, so if you have a maximum limit, then we have to go for loop. And if you don't have a maximum limit, okay, if you want to if you want to execute the logic, okay, let us say in a folder I have 25 files. So for each and every file you want to execute that logic, then you have to go for each loop. You don't know what is the maximum limit. There can be in that folder there can be 20 files or 100 files or 90 files. Okay, in that cases you will go for this for each loop enumerator. Is for each file, for each record in the table, like that. Okay. So in those cases we will go for this for each loop container. Now let us see one by one. So if I go and open this for each loop container, so this is for mainly for looping purpose. And if I go for collection, you can go and see we have multiple enumerators. File enumerator, item enumerator, ADO enumerator, schema rosette enumerator, variable enumerator, node list enumerator, SMO enumerator. Okay, so one of the interview question will be how many types of enumerators will be there in the for each loop container. Okay, and we have to at least we have to tell 4 or 5. Okay, and they will ask you next question is in what type of enumerator we have used in your applications, your project work, what type of enumerator, which enumerator we have used. Okay, so let me explain one by one. So we have already seen about file enumerator. Okay, we have already seen about file enumerator. Now, if you want to copy the files from one folder to another folder, then you go for this file enumerator. So while explaining the file system task, I explained about file enumerator. Okay. Now let me show you one more example. So one of the interview question will be, let us say I have one folder in which I have three files. Okay. So let us say that, yeah. So now you can see I have one folder in which I have the three files, three text files. Okay. Now, do you want me to show one more time the file enumerator? What is actually it will do? Suppose if you want to copy the files, okay. So show the desktop. So if you want to, let me create a folder here, new folder. So let me make it as Durga, okay, Prasad. Okay, I have one folder in the desktop with name Durga underscore Prasad. Okay, now if I want to copy the files, okay, so let us say if I want to copy the files from F drive, so let me go for F drive. Now here you can see we have SSIS Tarla folder is there. So from this I want to copy only the text files. Okay. So for example I'm telling, so if I want to copy only the text files, then what I can do, I can use the for each loop container. Inside this I can select the file enumerator option. Okay, since I am dealing with files and folders, I can select the file enumerator option. Let me go for browse. Okay, so let me go for where is your source folder is there. So under this F drive we have SSIS underscore Tarala folder is there. Okay, SSIS underscore Tarala folder is there. Okay, now in this, what you want to copy? I want to copy only the text files .txt. Okay, and whatever the file path. So it will go and give me the file name as F drive SSIS Tarla slash whatever is the file name. Okay, so whatever is the file name, that is first text file is city wise salary, so it will give me the this path. So in that container the first value will be this one, is the path of this text file. So now you can see this information, okay, this is the path of the first text file. So this information, okay, it will go and collect this information and it will keep that information in a variable. Okay, so let me keep that information in a variable called variable underscore file path. Now it is of string data type. Now first, so that is what the container will do. It will connect to that folder and it will connect to this folder. Okay, and it will send the each text file path, okay, each text file path one by one into this variable. Okay. Now inside this for each loop container, I can go and use this file system task. This is my logic. Actual logic is this one, and I will repeat this logic for each and every file coming inside the from the container. Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to copy the file from SSIS Tarla folder to the folder present in the desktop, only the text files. Okay. Now what is the source path? Is your source path is coming in a variable? Yes, right now the source path is coming in a variable. Or in which variable the source path is coming? So let me go for variable underscore file path. And where you want to copy the do you want to copy the file? Yes, I want to copy the file. Where you want to copy? So to which folder? So I want to copy to the folder present in the desktop. Existing folder, yes. Which folder? So under the desktop, we have a folder called Durga_Prasad is there. So into this folder, I want to copy. That's it. If the file is already present, do you want to overwrite? Yes. Okay. Now, your variable we have used as a source and you don't have the default value. Let me go and give some default value. Okay. After giving some default value, it is error information is gone. Now, what it will do? This for each loop container will send each text file one by one inside to the loop, and this logic will be executed for each text file. It will copy that, it will take the file path coming in this variable, copy it in the, paste it in the Durga Prasad folder. Now you can see it has executed multiple times. Now you can go and see in your desktop folder, all the text files got copied or not. Now you can see all the text files got copied one by one. Okay, like this. So this I have already explained while explaining the file system task. Okay. Now let me show you one more interview question, like suppose I have three text files. I have three text files with the same design, is same number of columns. Now you can see in the first text file I have six columns: ID, name, date of join, salary, city and branch, and I have two records. Okay. So one more text file is present. Okay. So with the same structure is same six columns but different data. One more file is present with different data with same structure. Now I want to copy this file, okay, into the SQL table. I want to copy this file data into the SQL table. Then how we can do that? Okay, my intention is I want to copy this text file data into the SQL table, into the same SQL table. So what we will do? How many? So usually how will you do to copy the data from one text file to another text file or to the SQL table? So you will go and take the data flow task. Okay. And inside the data flow task, you will, since you want to copy the data from a text file, so you'll go and take flat file source. Okay. And locate the file. First of all, we have to locate a file. Okay. Now let us see. First file. Let us give some name as first file. Production name as first file. Let me go and browse. So let us go to the desktop. In this I have one folder. Under this I have the container files. Let me go for first. Okay. Now go and preview the data. Okay. And click on OK. And where you want to load, I want to load it to the SQL table. No? My destination is OLEDB destination. Okay. So into which table you can go and decide that. So this is how usually we'll go and create a table. Okay. And push the data. Let me see. I want to push the data into DB7 database. And I want to create a new table. Table underscore. So let us say for each loop. Okay. For each loop. So this is how we can go and load the data from a text file to the SQL destination. Suppose right now how many files I have? I have. My requirement is I need to copy all these three files. So what you will do, in order to copy the second file, what you will do, you need to go and drag and drop one more data flow task. Okay, first finish that, and after this go and do the second data flow task. Again for the third file, okay, what you have to do, again go and drag and drop the one more data flow task. Okay, so suppose if I have 20 files, then I have to drag and drop 20 data flow tasks like this. Second data flow task first. Inside the second data flow task, I can go and create a connection for the second file line. Okay, but since these three files are having the same structure, okay, so these three files are having the same structure, means same number of columns. So can we handle by using a single data flow task instead of three data flow tasks? Can we handle that? Can we copy the second and third files using a single data flow task? Yes. Can we do that? Yes, we can do that. Okay. So by using the for each loop container, okay, I can change the connection information at runtime. Okay. By using the for each loop container, I can copy the data of the second and third files by using a single data flow task. Let us see how we can do that. Means by sending this, so what you have to change? I have to change this. Okay, so here I'm getting the path of the file here. When you are creating a connection, what you are doing, when you are creating a connection, what you are doing, so you are specifying the file name here. Okay, we are specifying the file name here, which file name you want to copy. Okay, so can we change this file name at runtime? Yes, we can do that by using this for each loop container. Let us see how we can do that. Okay, now let me take a for each loop container. So you understand the requirement. No? So instead of creating three data flow tasks, I want to use a single data flow task. And using single data flow task, I want to copy the data of all the files into the SQL table. Now let us see how we can do that. So first of all, collection. Inside this, since we are dealing with files and folder, so file enumerator, and which folder, so where folder is present in desktop, and the SSIS my folder name is container. So in this file folder you want to copy all the files now, then let it be star.star. Okay, now go to the variable mappings, and in this variable mapping what we are getting the, so let me reuse the file path. So we are getting the file name path. Okay, first we will get this path. Okay, first we will go and get this path information. Okay, so second time what we will get, so second time we will get the second file path. Okay, so first we are getting this okay, so first you will get this first file path, that is to this, and after this we will go and get this information. So when the for each loop container is looping, after finishing the first file, it will go and get this second file path. Okay, and the second file path will be kept in the variable, in this variable one by one. Okay, now go to the data flow task, and inside here what we are doing, we are getting the flat file source. Okay, so first file means we are getting the first file here. Okay, so we are getting the first file here. Okay, so this is a static connection, so this will work for only first file. Then how to change it into dynamic connection, how to change the source path dynamically. So what I have to do, I have to change the source connection. So after finishing the first file, I have to connect to the second file. Means the source connection I have to change dynamically at runtime. Okay. Then what we can do is you can go to the properties, and here you can go and see we have one connection string properties there. So in which I have the static path. Now instead of static path, I want to change this path. This path need to be changed and dynamically at runtime. No? Then how we can do that is go to the expressions. We have an expression tab. Go to this, click on it. Now we have one property called connection string property with it. Okay. So this connection string, whatever this is, the connection string, no? So take this, don't take the static connection, take the connection string, okay, for which variable, okay, in which the container is sending that path. So take the value present in this variable, okay. Take the connection string value present in this variable, which was sending by the container, okay. So in that container, we are sending the path file information on, So I am changing that connection string from static connection to dynamic connection like this. Okay. Take the path present in this variable. Okay. Now your connection is, now you can see fx is there. Now your connection is dynamic now. Now your connection will be dynamic. And after changing that, go to the container properties, and we have an option called delay validation. Okay. So before executing this container, before executing this data flow task, what it will do is it will check whether that in that particular folder, particular file is present or not. It will do some validation. Okay. So before execution, it will do some validation whether your particular file is existed in that path or not. So I want to do that. I want to delay that validation. Okay, don't do the validation before execution. Okay, do that validation at runtime. So I just want to delay the validation as true. Okay, don't do this validation before execution. Do that validation while execution. That is the meaning of delay validation as true. Now let us go and see. Okay, now let us go and see whether all the files. Now let us go and see the table name. What is our table name? That is table underscore for each lookup. So there is no data present in the table. Now let us go for and execute this. Now we can see all the files data will be get loaded or not. So I have executed this container. Now you can see. So let us see all the files data is moved or not. So now you can go and see that. So all the files, the first two files are coming from the first file, these two records. Next three records contains these four records. Next second file contains these four records. Third file containing the fifth record, fifth and sixth record. Okay. Now you can go and see. The first file contains 7 and 8. Okay. The second file contains 1, 2, 3, 4, and the third file contains 6 and 5 and 6. Okay, so it is using the single data flow task, okay, and a for each loop container. So we are able to push the data from multiple files into the SQL table. Okay, so this is how we can change the connection string, okay, from static connection to dynamic connection. Change the connection string value at runtime. Understood? So we have to just go to the connection string property and just replace the static connection to take it from the expression list. So we have to go to this. We have to go to this connection name. Now you can see here we have created a connection. So how to change the connection string to dynamic is, now you can see we don't have the connection string now. So we have to specify the take the connection string value. Okay, the value coming from the for each loop variable. Okay, this is the variable in which we are keeping the file path inside a for each loop container. Okay, so we have just changed the connection string property to take the value from the this variable, and into this variable we are sending the value into this variable. Okay, so we are sending the one by one file name into this variable from the for each loop container, variable underscore file path. Okay, so that is what we have specified here also, variable underscore file path like this. Okay, so this is how we can change the connection string at runtime. So this is one of the interview question. They can ask you that I have multiple files with the same structure. So how many data flow tasks I have to create? How we can design your package? Suppose if I have 20 files, so do you go and create 20 data flow tasks, or you can still manage by using a single data flow task? Yes, we can still manage. So by taking the help of for each loop container. So in tomorrow class we will see the remaining for each loop containers and with some live examples like this. How we can change the connections dynamically at runtime by taking the help of these containers. Okay, can I stop now?
Okay, sir. Yeah.